Hello, my peeps. Today's Algebra Nation podcast will cover workbook page 45. More specifically, we will do the right side of page 45.
Given the following equation, solve for x. Let's beat that test. I have a fraction equal to another fraction. I'm going to solve by cross multiplying. 7 times x plus 7, 7 times x plus 7 equals 10 times x minus 4. 10 times x minus 4. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So in this case, I would distribute 7 times x, 7 times 7, 10 times x, 10 times negative 4. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 7 is 49 equals 10 times x is 10x. And 10 times negative 4 is negative 40. Or in this case, that would be minus 40. No like terms on either side. So from here, get our variables on one side, our constants on the other, and divide. In this case, I'll subtract 10x from both sides to get my variables on the left-hand side, because the inverse of adding would be subtracting 10x. 7x minus 10x would be negative 3x plus 49 equals 10x minus 10x is 0, so that simplifies minus 40. I got my variables on one side. Let's get our constants on the other. The inverse of adding 49 would be subtracting 49 from both sides. Negative 3x equals, negative 40 minus 49. Negative 40 minus 49. 40, negative negative, minus 49. Negative 89. Negative 89. Lastly, divide both sides by negative 3. Now let me ask you this, because we have to put this in the grid. Can I put negative 89 divided by negative 3? No, it has to be the most simplified form. A negative divided by a negative would be positive. You'd have x equals 89 divided by 3. So in this case, if you want to put this in the grid, you would put either 89 divided by 3, which is called right justified, starting on the right-hand side, or you can start on the left-hand side and put 89 divided by 3. Again, another way you could have written this pretty good read, right? Okay. 89 divided by 3. Make sure it starts on one side or the other, called right justified or left justified, but you can't just throw it in the middle. Also, if you try to use your calculator, because I've been using it a lot, if you try and type in 89 divided by 3, you're like 29.666666. You can't put that either. That's a repeating decimal. They want the most simplified form, and in this case, it would be 89 divided by 3. So do be careful, because grading is very, very specific. Those are two variations of the correct answer. But I got one more for you. I've got a problem that has words. I believe we call them word problems. Let's do it. An engineer is...
I thought you said, let's do a brain break.
Destination unknown as we pulling for some gas. Officially placed the poster, reveals a smile from the back. Elephants and acrobats, lion, snakes, monkey. Village speaks righteous, Sister Cena says funky. How bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. It's making me crazy. It's making
How bizarre. A team from Chicago is winning record. And how bizarre. They're in first place or tied for first place. That doesn't happen often in that city.
designing a plot of land for the construction of a new factory. The following image comes from the design. For the design to work, the rectangles have to be similar. Similar, everyone, means that the corresponding sides are going to be proportional. That's the key here. Again, so similar means the corresponding sides are going to be proportional, meaning 10 divided by 13 will equal 3 divided by x minus 1. And that's one way to show that they're proportional. Just one way, and there's others. Again, if you want to show the other ways to start this question off without the equation, you go ahead, post on the wall, and we'll see how similar they are. But in this case, the rectangles are similar, and we get a proportion based on the fact that the corresponding sides are proportional. Now the question is, what is the length of the longest side of the larger rectangle? Well, you and I both know we're going to start solving for x, but when we're done, make sure the answer we have is the question they want. So here we go. I'm going to start by cross multiplying. 10 times x minus 1 equals 3 times x plus 13. Next, distribute. 10 times x is 10x. 10 times negative 1 is negative 10, or in this case, minus 10. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 13. 3 times 13 is 39. No like terms to combine on either side equals sign, so from here, let's go ahead and get our variables to one side, our constants to the other. I have a 3x, and the inverse of adding 3x would be subtracting 3x from both sides. 10x minus 3x is 7x, minus 10, 3x minus 3x is 0, simplified, equals 39. Next up, I want to get my constants over to the right, so the inverse of subtracting 10 would be adding 10 to both sides. I'm going to add 10 and add 10. So if I add 10 to both sides, I get 7x. Negative 10 plus 10 is 0, that simplifies, equals 49. There we go. Lastly, 7 times x, the inverse of multiplying would be dividing both sides by 7. 49 divided by 7 is equal to 7, so x equals 7. So x equals, hold on, is that what they want? What is the length of the longest side of the larger rectangle? Let's go back to the picture. Remember, x is 7. Here's the larger rectangle. The sides are x minus 1 and x plus 13. If x is 7, 7 minus 1 is 6, and 7 plus 13 is 20. And they want the longest side of the larger rectangle. So the longer side would be 20 for the larger rectangle, and that's the answer they want. And remember, if you're going to put it in a grid, you'd either write 2, 0 on the left side, it's called left justified, or you can write 2, 0 for 20 on the right side. Just don't put it in the middle anywhere. It has to start on the left or start on the right. Either way, the answer to the question is 20 is the length of the longest side of the larger rectangle. So again, when you have a fraction equal to another fraction, one way to solve is to cross multiply. If you have any questions, post on the wall. If you want more practice, we've got that practice problem